gone and the bitches ain't there. The show must go on. Show must go on. The show must go on. The show must go on. The show must go on. Poster boy Trim, who these niggas wanna be like?
Yeah. We back at it. Free Play Radio. This your boy Scino. That was my guy, Trail that left. Show Must Go On, featuring Yasi. That's his latest single. Make sure y'all go and stream that. But this is another episode of Free Play Radio. And I got a super duper special guest in the building. This guy's been working diligently for as long as I've known him. I came across him before the pandemic, and I just love to see the evolution and the growth of this guy. Super dope pianist. And he's also, taking on the rap hat as well. Bennett Roth.
What's going on with it?
How you feeling, bro?
Man, everything's everything. It's all good.
For sure. That's good to hear, man. How you feeling today, though?
It's wonderful, man. It's happy holiday season.
Okay.
It's busy out here in the music industry, from everything with holiday parties and December events and kind of my usual schedule of staying busy, whether I'm in the studio or on the stage. So
right. Business as usual.
Business as usual, man. Count my blessings.
Okay.
It's a good time.
For sure. So for the people that may be unfamiliar, where you from and what brought you to music?
Well, I was originally born in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I didn't stay out there too long, and my family moved out to the West Coast, and we were in the peninsula, basically within like the Redwood City area, for all my childhood, all my upbringing, and so yeah, I'm a Bay guy. I'm a Bay boy for sure, all the time, but got nothing but love for the Midwest, where things basically started for me, and I got a lot of family also out in the East Coast in New York, so coast to coast love, no doubt. I get a lot of influence, I know, from those roots that are within my family tree.
Right.
But yeah, the West Coast and mainly, right here in the Bay has been it for me.
Okay.
I went to college at Sonoma State University for music, and right after that came back to the South Bay and did a master's degree in music at San Jose State University.
Fire.
So music has been it for me ever since I was, basically 5 years old. And I got into, exploring different instruments when I was, in really early years, like elementary school, and eventually settled on the piano. And from about the time I was 8 to 18 years old, I had the same piano teacher.
Yeah.
And it helped me a long ways just to get into, a musical lifestyle, essentially. But I fell in love with piano mostly because I fell in love with jazz music, and I was learning, all of the classics and the standards from jazz repertoire, like real early on, like when I was in grade school and middle school, and eventually learning all this jazz music and this jazz music theory led me to hip hop and R&B, since these two were basically joined at the hip.
Right.
And I got so much fascination from merging those two styles when I was playing. I loved just the smooth, effortless feeling of expression from both playing the music on piano and performing it with a mic in my hand, and the freestyle element of both jazz music and hip hop was contagious for me.
Okay.
So it's been off and running from there.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. I do have to ask, do you remember the first instrument you picked up?
The first was the piano.
Okay.
My mom and dad had bought me a toy piano, had, probably something like 20 keys on it or something, for, ages 4 and under kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. I did get a chance, to play different percussion instruments and try different woodwind instruments and singing. And, I went to this after-school program when I was, maybe like 5, 6 years old, where it was allowing kids to explore these different avenues of music, and would eventually, I think, help, anyone that age to finally land on something. But piano was kind of something already that I was gravitating to even before that. And I think just those experiences later on helped finalize that decision.
Right. Okay.
Because it was, kind of determined without doubt. But since I've been, now into playing and performing for so long, I was able to get facility on a drum kit and play some electric bass, a little bit guitar. So I can get around the bandstand a little bit on everything, but piano's the primary, and that's my first love always.
Right, okay. That's beautiful. What would you say is or was or could be the most challenging part just for learning the piano?
The discipline. I think about staying consistent and basically putting the time in and being patient about it. I recall times when I would have struggles with difficult material or, trying to maybe feel like I was trying to advance myself quicker than where I was at, and just having to be able to, I think, slow down and just appreciate where my progress was at that given time. And I think that's what I see too. I'm a piano instructor, and I teach basically all different instruments, piano primarily, but I think that's the thing I see with students that I work with one-on-one or in group settings, that it's the discipline of it. It's being able to stay with it week to week, or, building up a regimen or having a routine so that things are going to see gradual progress. And the ones that I teach, that stick with it, I think they feel it. They feel that, they take small steps of improvement, from week 1 to week 2, and then week 2 to week 4. But then by the time I've been working with them for 6 months or a year or 3 years, there's been heavy development. But then, of course, there's the ones that, they quote unquote forget to practice, right? Or, or other things come up, or maybe it's just something that they're not, ultimately captivated by, which is fine too. That's cool. But those are the ones, that don't see the efforts actually, produce a large development.
Yeah, like the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I get you.
But, I love to do it because I love being able to inspire young minds the same way I was.
Okay, for sure. And I do just to add to that, this guy is a phenomenal pianist. Phenomenal.
Right on.
And this is not just from watching you on Instagram or anything like that. I've actually sat in rehearsal.
Yeah.
I've actually witnessed him perform live while I'm actually on stage and seeing, the improvisation that you do. And you're just a phenomenal. And I just have to add that just to your expertise. If anyone's listening, it's phenomenal.
Appreciate it, Scino, man. We're good looking out.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
I want to get into the album though.
Come on.
Grown. What did the title mean to you?
It basically means that my overall life, no doubt in music, but a whole lot of things that for me as a man just took immense leaps, took big maturation, and just took overall, a large step towards who I want to be as the musician, as the man, basically, just as the individual existing on this earth.
Right.
And so a lot of it has to do with ways that I think I've grown artistically. Some of it I point to that I think just the way I used to deliver lyrics on the mic, in tone and in the way I wanted to affect the listener, those had just taken much different directions and just had much more control. There's that discipline thing again, more discipline, more sensitivity, the way I was producing, the way I was making beats and arranging music. I feel like at one point in my career had kind of hit a stagnant or maybe even predictable kind of quality. And so I was able to, I think, find new ways and new resources and new inspiration to help that take, a new turn. And then just also in my personal life, and, I got to just give the utmost shout out to my wife. I mean, I think she helped me really turn a corner, both in musically, but certainly just as a human being, just kind of helping me to elevate my demeanor, my style, my overall qualities of interaction on stage, off stage,
right,
in the community, you name it.
Got you.
And it just helped me take a leap. I mean, I think, I started writing these songs mostly as the pandemic hit. And for me, like I know it did for so many other people, it was a moment to reflect and step back and kind of slow down and get a little bit meditative, a little bit more, insightful and cerebral about what's going on around me, what's going on internally. And it just helped me really grow and get grown, as the album title states. So I think, on the album, I'm definitely delivering the messages about that and just kind of how I think I've taken from where I was in my, my late teens and early 20s and mid 20s and made a significant change for the better. Grown up, matured, and really got things to an even more elevated point where I'm proud of.
Okay. I like that. I like that explanation. You got a origin story for your album title.
Most definitely.
Is this the debut album for you?
This is the first full-length album, I'd say, as far as a debut. Previous albums that, I put out with my imprint were with full bands that I was an integral part of as a composer and a player, or were projects that I had a lot of other collaborative partners in. But this one kind of as my own name on the marquee.
Got you.
It is, yeah. Other EPs for sure, were part of it. I guess you said my first official project or album was in high school. When it was slang them out the bag,
right.
Just sell them out at that point I was selling them out my basketball gym bag before practice and everything, man. So but yeah, this is now like for sure the grown debut.
Got you for sure. Well, I want to get into the record Grown Love featuring Ian Santillano.
Yeah, Ian Santillano.
Great Santillano.
Fantastic vocalist, composer, and guitar player in his own right. He's one y'all definitely want to check for.
For sure.
Right,
well, let's get into it. Bennett Roth, Grown Love, Ian Santillano.
Already spoken, and our love goes deeper than the ocean floor. I got me another, and she's really significant. Ain't another woman coming close to equivalent. Single? I no longer speak the lingo. My girl is unforgettable. Word to Nat King Cole. Love never felt so good as the love I'm in. Heart fluttering. Kisses that I'm smothered in. Wondering how did life usher in these splendid blessings. I must have finally quit my ways of adolescence and matriculated to maturity. She is certainly on a full ride to I Do University. We never had to rush. We known exactly where we're going. No bad weather could ever stop our forever from growing. True grown folk love it. I'm a man of my word, no longer an amateur. It's all good, cause we sharing that grown love. Take it slow, love. In my younger days, I didn't know love. I had to wait for the right girl to come around to find that grown love. The overflow love. When you're younger, you don't know love. Now that I'm grown, look at what her first gaze had me dizzy. A night in Tunisia. Now our love's a work of art, like the Mona Lisa. All the different places, we make them our oasis. From the beaches of sea chicks with robbers and cervezas to our starry nights in Paris. With your heart, I won't be careless. I hope that it is apparent that you always will be cherished and never taken for granted. She has single-handedly made me become the luckiest man on the planet. It's funny how I thought that I was grown before. I figured being classy was just opening doors. It took this extraordinary woman to officially motivate me and create a different brand of chivalry. I threw away the foolishness and pick-up lines. Sounds cliche, but she showed up in the nick of time and reeled me in out of the plenty fish in the sea. Life would be empty without V, cause she showed me that grown love. Take it slow, love. In my younger days, I didn't know love. Wait for the right girl to come around to find that grown love. The overflow love. When you're younger, you don't know love. Now that I'm grown, look at what I forgot about my past. Cause I know this love right here is gonna last. She's the lady of my dreams. long for our love to spark, cause I knew from the start she'd have my heart. In my arms is where she'll stay. Only grown love for the rest of our days. Grown love, take it slow, love. In my younger days I didn't know love. I had to wait for the right girl to come around to find that grown love, that overflow love. But when you're younger you don't know love. Now that I'm grown, look at what I've grown love. Take it slow love. In my younger days I didn't know love. For the right girl to come around to find that grown love.
Turn the earphones up. Headphones up.
Someone to share my life, I hope come true.
Yeah.
Damn, Dom, you did this shit?
It's for all my niggas that was making it happen. Still making it happen. While the world was turned upside down type shit. I'm counting racks in a pandemic. Dirty money, so the crackers say I can't spend it. And time's tough, so I can't lend it. It's hard to tell you what I am, just know I'm ambitious. Secret recipes I learned from grandma's kitchen. Back when folks was chopping grams on my mama's dishes. Getting lifted, trying to clear my vision. Start to see the world for what it is. Start to see my niggas thugging, now they doing biz. Smile, I see my niggas hugging on they newest kids. Blood would make us closer, know how true it is. Do whatever for my love, we been through some shit. It's like cuz lost his mind when he blew his shit. I'm never bothered by the critics, I got used to this. Calculated money moves to reduce the risk. One big body's back to back, we ain't cooping. They know who got the knowledge and the blueprint. Drinking pace, we never had the space to get too bent. Got nothing for a nigga in his 2 cents. Starting to see value in a new friend. Ran it up enough to pass judgment on his root, Chris. I'm living in the moment, really hustling. We don't do pics. Out in Disco Bay, rolling up on bamboo sticks. Champagne bottles, ace of spade out in Houston. The Molly man smiling like this, how he supposed to do this. Got women playing games like shit, put me on to-do list. Vetting these waters, still fluid like a new fish. Was with me through my lords, ain't gotta say it, that's a true bitch. To know me is to know love, my other side is ruthless. Them niggas know who do this. I'm counting racks in a pandemic. I'm self-made, so the crackers saying I can't spin it. They just wanna stop my black business. They wanna tax, they wanna add interest. I'm counting racks in a pandemic. I'm counting racks in a pandemic. I'm counting racks in a pandemic. I'm counting racks in a pandemic.
Yeah. That was my guy Pussy with Racks in the Pandemic. Going crazy. He just dropped his video to that. Make sure y'all streaming that. Shout out Troy LF in the building. But we got Bennett Roth in the building today.
Yes, sir.
Man. But going back to the album, Grown, what was not the inspiration behind the project, but what made you want to be the marquee in that instance?
Because it's been a while. I've been I'd say from 2011 to 2019, I'd say, I've been part of a lot of different groups and collectives. And so I've been writing a lot of music and performing a lot of it, releasing it, but all with different, all with different groups, all with different kind of styles behind it, all different messages behind these different styles of music. And so I felt like I was very much overdue to get something that I would be, the front and center of. I'd be headlining it.
Yeah.
And definitely not to say that anything I'd done in that about 9 year span was wasted or low quality. It was actually great because, I got to really extend my writing chops, and in some ways I think it made for now this project to be even greater, inspired by those experiences.
Yeah.
Because I was doing a lot of different things. Like I was playing with and writing for this group called The Bad Ones, which was jazz, soul, R&B, hip hop all infused kind of together for live instrumentation, saxophone, trombone, guitar, piano, bass, drums, vocals. And then I had another project called Soulful Obsession, which was a quartet of bass, keys, drums, and vocals. But I was doing some singing and rapping on stuff. And I was producer for the group. And then also the other cats who were part of the band, they were singing. They were in on the writing process. So, you know, all these different examples, I think, were part of what was already cooking up inside that would eventually be something I was going to do and have my own imprint on. But I think, you know, I was definitely ready to have something that I was gonna be out in front of. I'd you know, no doubt I'd be overseeing. I'm writing it, I'm producing it, recording it all, you know, and I was definitely inspired by, you know, certainly other folks around me that were, you know, I think getting their own shine ready to do. And a lot of different folks in the, you know, in the scene would be talking to me about, hey, when's your project coming? When's your, you know, this thing coming? And you know, I put a 4-track EP out that preceded Grown called it was called Put It Out. With basically the mantra of just, look, I got these banks of songs, and it's like, why sit around, why wait and just, you know, let these things just be caged up. So I'll just drop the thing, see what folks are about. And so I think that helped kind of then tease and ultimately gear me up for something this more full-fledged, full album style.
So it just sounded like it was a lot of, and I'm not trying to summarize what you're saying, but a lot of it was just preparation. For this moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, I still get to get down with all these musicians that I was talking to you about here from these different projects. And so some of them now are on the bandstand with me live when I play this stuff in venues and festivals and things. So they're along for the ride with it too.
I want to get into another record, but before that, I want to ask you, in comparison to in contrast to being a rapper and a pianist, what are some parallels that you notice?
The way I deliver sort of personality in melodies I'll play on the piano and lyrics that I'll kick. Artistically, I love playing on kind of humor and kind of tongue-in-cheek sort of interplay, both like in a band formation or you know, kicking rhymes. And so, you know, for example, like when I improvise, when I play some solos, you know, I might quote an E40 beat in the line or something like that, right? Or, you know, I'll you know, or I'll be playing like, you know, I get down with this band and we play Still Dre sometimes. And over some of the Still Dre chords, I might quote Fur-Elise by Beethoven over and it, you know, and it gets a crowd riled up, it gets them laughing or something. And on the flip, you know, if I'm on the microphone, you know, I love to you know, see some faces in the crowd if it's freestyle, and, you know, start making rhymes about their hat, or, you know, they got a team's jersey on, I make a, you know, a reference to the team, and, you know, it gets a crowd, you know, in a frenzy. It gets them fired up. And, you know, so the parallels of that in the improvisational form, you know, I love to play on that. I love to, you know, read a crowd and then just sort of execute from that and see about, you know, what is this crowd in the live, you know, what is this crowd really into? Does it feel like they are ready to burst? Do they want something more deep and tender and sensitive for the moment? So, I mean, that's the thing I love about it most. I mean, live performing can't be beat, in my opinion. So, you know, when the pandemic, you know, shut everything like that down, it certainly felt like there was a piece of me not being able to enact upon. So, you know, now that things are back like that, I'm ecstatic to do it.
Come on now.
But yeah, it's the things like that, and both have, you know, immense significance in technical execution. From everything I've learned on the piano to, you know, how to play solos and accompany singers and, you know, play dense harmonies and chords. you know, how to support a full band versus me and a guitarist. It's all about being able to adapt and make it the right sound for the right moment.
Dope.
And, you know, same thing with the technical presence on the mic. It's all about tone. It's all about delivery and confidence and being able to know the right energy for the situation. But both go into, you know, being very team concept.
Okay.
And that's something I thrive on too.
Okay, for sure. Before we get into the record, Can't Be Excused, off the forthcoming project, or the latest project, Grown. Can you tell me a little bit about how that record came about?
This is most definitely in sort of the wake and response to, you know, the last couple years of just kind of all the dirty, all the injustice, all the, you know, kind of vile and just, for lack of a better term, whack acts of humanity going on, from everything in the political movements to, you know, the treatments of, you know, underprivileged communities, the black and brown community especially, being the victims of police brutality, and you know, everything going, you know, certainly in the wake of, you know, things after George Floyd's murder. You know, I sound off a lot on these messages in this song and another record off the album called Vicious Cycle.
Okay.
So those two definitely draw on, you know, the just kind of the gross, kind of disgusting things that have been happening within the country, and basically saying, like, it's not gonna go unnoticed and unpunished anymore. That's why it can't be excused.
Right.
And, like, you know, come on, especially for the folks who are, you know, supposed to be the adults out there, y'all should be able to know right from wrong, and what's morally, you know, inexcusable, what could pass, what's right, and what people, I think, know deep down are actually plaguing other people, other communities.
Man, and I just got to say before I get into the record, I appreciate you using your voice and your platform to deliver that message as well, you know, because we need everyone on all fronts. So I just got to thank you on air. Like, I know
Most
you
definitely.
are in real life, but on air, I got to let you know I do appreciate that.
I appreciate it, man. You know, it's got to take everybody on it, you know, to incite change. And music is the powerful tool to do it. So,
come on now.
Shoot, let's get on it.
Well, let's get into it. Bennett Roth, Can't Be Excused, off his latest album, Grown. Let's get it.
Yo, if you care more about the buildings and the monuments, you better be ready for the consequence. We got this monopolist who ain't cognizant, teetering between malicious and incompetent, misled followers talking that nonsense. We want safety for the public, but get the opposite. Sick of unmarked goons on the populace. In democracy, I've lost a lot of confidence. What a shame. ICE abductions, they all too familiar. Kidnapping niños, rompiendo familia. Kindergarten ages, they trapping them in cages. Causing starvation, man, this outrageous. Land of the free, that's the fattest lie ever told. To let the wealthy hate mongers get a clever hold on positions of power and squash our voice. I'd rather fight for my community, that's my choice. Win or lose, let's not get it confused between what's right and what's wrong. We done all had to choose for the folks that are real. You see, love is infused when there's hate in their blood. They can't be excused. I'm ashamed all the lames till my casket drop. Ignorant people, you're looking like the laughing stock. All the Karens who don't seem to be sharing this planet, you can go back to your mother's womb for racist behavior. When I make it room, go back inside, McCloskey. You gun Nazis ain't about to be dropping bodies. They want to be the victim, make the situation escalate. Unarmed black men murdered and they just demonstrate. White silence, they all look complicit. It's like there's a group of bigger bigots every 6 minutes. You get canceled and you get canceled. Excessive but necessary to make an example out of folks, whether it's hate-filled personalities, insensitive Drews out there flapping in the breeze, suddenly begging for forgiveness on your virtual knees. You made a choice, go ahead and deal with the penalty. I try to tell you, win or lose, let's not get it confused between what's right and what's wrong. We done all had to choose for the folks that are real. You see, love is infused when there's hate in their blood. They can't be excused. To all the parents coaching their kids in white supremacy, let it be known, you have made yourself the enemy. You keep passing down your family's racial tendencies. Your downfall won't just happen coincidentally. It'll be strategized and fully prepared mentally. Eliminate the system, that is what necessarily has to be done, so we can developmentally create a world of freedom where people ain't preferentially treated all differently because of skin pigmentation. No more privileged Caucasian, one-sided education or hollow demonstrations of Black History Month. The next textbook better have Black history at the front. All the college jazz programs get it right from the start. You're doing more than teach a theory, a study of Black art. That's a choice to make sure that you do your part. I choose love, and that choice always right from the heart. Win or lose, let's not get it confused between what's right and what's wrong. We done all had to choose. For the folks that are real, you see love is infused. When there's hate in their blood, they can't be excused. Good or bad, win or lose, let's not get it confused between what's right and what's wrong. We done all had to choose. For the folks that are real, you see love is infused. When there's hate in their blood, they can't be excused.
Yeah. Free Play Radio. It's your boy Scino. That was Can't Be Excused from Bennett Roth. Like I said, you was talking your shit on there, bro.
Appreciate it, yo.
And then if
Right
y'all
on.
didn't know, he is handling all the production.
Yeah, all the production on that track and basically the whole album.
Come on, man.
The whole album is produced by me. All the different instrumental solos and interludes. All from my fingertips.
Okay.
With different features on there, like what you heard on Grown Love, Ian Santiano. I got my homegirl Brooke D on another track. Killing vocalist and songwriter from San Jose, now out in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
My homie Uno from San Jose, now out there in Texas.
Okay.
Produced one of them tracks on there called When the Party Goes Away.
Okay.
But otherwise, I have my hands, all over it. From front to back, basically overseeing everything and producing everything. Like I said, like with even from the side of production, for the longest time, my beat making was exclusively on the Yamaha Motif keyboard, and that's something like I got started on like at a early teenage range. But then, it was kind of that even down to that detail of like getting grown. Like, hey, there are other things out there that can help your process, your compositions, your beats, your song development be better. So, I finally, kind of took the next leap of faith and, was messing with MPC and Logic and, finally got, I think, crossing over to more, contemporary forms of just creating my art.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, everything about the project, man, is just making the more mature, artistic, and above all, life growth.
Got you. Okay, for sure. Speaking of that, I just want to wish you much success on your journey. You've always just been an honorable person.
Much love, Scino.
And I just appreciate, you pulling up today. What you got coming next?
Oh man, next.
I know you got some shows or something.
Oh yeah. Well, shoot, if y'all catch this before it drop, I'll be playing on Christmas Eve at the Signia Hotel in San Jose, along with a great cast of musicians who I get down with frequently. It's called the Francis Experience that people will catch on Christmas Eve. I play and perform every Sunday night in downtown San Jose at 55 South with my crew called the Alliance, delivering live hip-hop, R&B, and soul, original music, and your favorite, radio bangers. If you like any music that, fell into your ears between 1985 and 2010, then you'll be in for a treat.
Okay.
And otherwise, I'll be going up and down this Bay Area for sure.
Come on, man.
I got a single coming out, dropping in the first quarter of 2023 called No Hay Corona.
Okay.
Featuring my homie Justin Engel, who produced the track, and did a little co-writing with me.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm gonna be at it, man.
Come on,
you
man.
already know.
Booked and busy. Come on.
You can
now.
find me on Instagram at Bennett Jazz Keys and at BennettRothNewell.com. And I try to keep the schedule, up to its most date so that people know where to look when the next shows will be.
Okay, for sure. Well, again, I just want to tell you I appreciate you. Keep doing your thing.
Right back
I
at
love
you,
seeing
fam.
you. Thank you. I love seeing the evolution and the growth, and I'm looking forward to seeing it even more. So we got my guy Pedro Classic coming up, but I got a record from my guy D'Angelo James Over off his latest project. It Was Me, still direct to consumer. Make sure y'all tap in on my guy. Let's get it.
Wait, who is Chromo?
Hey, she keep calling me back and I ain't feeling that. Why did I give you my heart? I need my feelings back. I can tell you for the streets and the internet. I feel like Velcro to you, I always get attached. I always think about the future.